Hello and welcome to episode 31. 30? 31? Hold on. 31. Episode 31 of the Yarnivore Podcast. I am Sadie. I will be your host, also known as Blue Ruin on Ravelry and Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram. The chaos is only slightly contained. Only slightly. Because at any moment things could come tumbling down. But we are here. We are here. I'm sorry, I'm a little late. So what's going to happen is I'm recording here. It's Wednesday. And then next Friday, I will return to my Friday schedule. Last week was just super busy. Super fun, but super busy. And did not have time. There's a lot of dying. I had the hubby off. And wanted to spend more time with him than just sitting here talking to myself on a computer. And got a lot of dyeing done, and yeah, and we went to the Cure, and that was amazing. And I can't even, I still cannot formulate the proper words to express that event. I cried. And I just finished watching the Prime Minister of Canada raise the pride flag on Parliament Hill, which is monumental and wonderful. Starts off all the Pride Parades of Canada. Well, not the Pride Parades, the Pride Week of Canada. And they just put forward a bill for trans women and men's rights, the C-16, I want to say. Either way, way to go, Canada. I'm so proud to be Canadian some days, and this is one of those days. It's a beautiful thing. Anywho, let's jump right on into the knitting. I have knitting. I have a horror story as well, but I have knitting. First off, let me just get my sock blocker, because as you know, as is the rule, I did not put my finished sock on a sock blocker. Which seems to be I get everything else together, but do I remember to put it on a blocker? No. But I do actually have to block these because they are going to be a gift. So you've previously seen that I had completed one thistle. This is Thicket. It's the Thicket pattern by Mercedes Tarosovic. Either way, it's the Thicket pattern. I modified the heel. It called for a short row heel. I don't do short row heels. The Fish Lips Kiss heel is fine, but the short row heel, not doing it. Nothing that involves me yarning over, not happening. So I had finished one last time you saw it. Now I have a pair. Actually, this one has the marker on it, and it's a little orca. Here's the other one all done. Let me just take my Progress Keeper off of here. Got eyeliner all over my hands because, of course, I did my eyeliner before I watched the Prime Minister raise the flag, and such a sap sometimes. So, pair of socks. It actually stretches out quite a bit. This is out of Wandering Wool, their Ossable sock, which is an MCN. It's an 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon, the Ossable sock, in the colorway Knitting in the Nashville Night, which was the SSK colorway for 2014. I knit these for the SSK knit along, but I finished them like 20 minutes after the deadline. They hadn't locked the thread, so I put it in there, but Leslie and Laura can feel completely fine in not giving me the tickets. Or they can give me the tickets if they're feeling pity. Either way, I got really close. I just didn't actually do it in time. And that could possibly be because I was thinking for some reason I had till midnight my time, which is definitely not the same time as their time. Like I said, these are gifts. They will be blocked and wrapped, and they will go off to their new homeland. Eventually. I say eventually. I don't actually mean eventually. I mean, it'll probably happen sooner rather than later. I am drinking coffee. I have a water here. I have funny water. This water is always humorous to me. when we just need water and I'm doing something we can't run to the grocery store, hubby just picks it up on the way home from the base, and it's Patriot's Choice. Patriot. I find it humorous. I find it humorous that it exists. It's also out of California, I believe. Yeah, it's sourced out of California, and it's bottled in California, and I'm pretty sure California is in a drought. So I don't quite understand why. I'm not even going to try. But I have an FO, and that was wonderful. And let's move into the knitting, shall we? Shall we go right on into what I've been knitting in my Star Wars bag, which is sewn by Lindsay. She is on Etsy. I got a little bit of work done on the bootstrap socks for the hubby. Not very much, because I was really focused on thicket. I don't believe I put a new marker in, because I'm a bad individual. I'm still getting used to the progress markers. Thicket was knit on 2.5 millimeter needles, which also made it go faster because it's 60 stitches over 2.5 instead of my usual, which is a US 1 2.25. These are also on a 2.5, but it's also 64 stitches. I just do it that way because the hubby has a bigger foot than I do, and that is what fits him better. I don't want to go down to a 0 and do 72, which also fits him very nicely, but zeros hurt my hands, something fierce. I don't know why. I can get away with doing them once or twice, but so I have found that the 2.5 millimeter needle, which I believe is a US 2, manages to give me the same width I need, and he's not that hard on socks, so I have no problem with the fact that it's not as dense. It's not as dense as it would be otherwise. Alrighty. Oh my goodness. Let everything just fall down at the same time, shall it? Did I remember to leave that page up? I had the page with the next project on it. I did not remember to leave it up. Hold on. So, let me start the horror story, shall I? Right. We all know that I was knitting the Yule cardigan, which is really a pretty cardigan. It's a wonderful cardigan. It's gorgeous. There's, I want to say this is user error off the top of my head. So, I was knitting the Yule. I had basically to the armpits done. Fronts were done, backs were done. I had done all the mathy crap that needed to be done. All the knitting was getting done. I had joined in it in the round for a little bit, and then I looked at it and I was like, okay, there's something so wrong with this. And I thought, you know what, just put it on waste yarn, try it on, see how it goes, because then you don't want to get much further than this. Otherwise, you're really going to want to hurt people. So I put it on basically 3 or 4 different cable needles so that it was like it was on waste yarn, but not on waste yarn, because that I had needles laying around. I didn't have yarn. And so tried it on, looked at it in the mirror, went and found I didn't use this one, the full length mirror, but I used, like, we have a huge mirror in the bathroom, used that, looked at it, I was just like, nope. It fit me bodily. It just, the armpit was like down to here. Like, I could have. So, I posted a picture on Instagram of me I took the armpit and I put it over my body, and it actually fit my entire body. Now, okay, my bust measurement is 47 right now. Okay, I put it on 47 and I could still stretch it. There's no way your armhole should be that big. So it had to go to the frog pond. But before I went to the frog pond, I wanted to double check something. My gauge was off. It called for 22 stitches to 4 inches, and I was getting a 19. So my gauge was off. I completely User error, did not do a gauge swatch. I know. I deserve everything I got, and I don't even mind that I got everything I got. I am completely cool with that. However, it had to be frogged. It was a very sad day. I will probably knit that at some point out of yarn that will give me the appropriate gauge. I thought I had gauge. I don't know. I really should have checked better. Let's just call that what happens in Sadieville. But once, this is my Mina Makes bag. Once I had frogged it, I was like, no, I need to knit this. I want to knit this. The whole purpose of this, because I want this hand-spun, hand-knit sweater. Right? You don't, like, I mean, you brain, follow thought, slow down. Sometimes you spin yarn and you don't have any purpose for it, or you spin it and you know it's going to be a sock weight yarn, you put it away. You spin it, you know it's going to be a shawl, and you put it away because you don't have the right shawl. Or you spin some yarns and you put them away because you know you're going to knit them, but eventually. This was such a huge spin, and I enjoyed it so much that I really want to knit something from it right now. Right now. Like, I don't want to put it away, and I didn't even want it in timeout, because I figured then I would forget about it and I wouldn't keep going. And I really, I love the way it looks in the skein. I love the way it looked knit up. I know I want a sweater out of this. So I found another sweater that would work with the gauge I was getting. And I thought, I probably just won't use a contrasting color. And this is it. It's called Dirty Martini. It's by Ella Torrente, who also does the Marco Polo that's ever so popular. I also have the Marco Polo pattern. I kind of want to do that. I looked at the multitude of people who have done this cardigan. This cardigan's actually been somewhat popular. And it works really nicely on different body types. I thought what I might do is, instead of using a contrasting color, I might just knit a different skein of the handspun onto it. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure I have enough to do it without contrasting. And so I was like, yes, this will work. I love it. I love it to bits. See, I didn't even take the time to recase. Well, there's a couple little balls because you have to do all this joining on the other one. So I'm using up all my little balls before I get to my big ball. And then I've got 3 skeins I haven't wound. This is still the first ball, so I officially have not re-knit the entirety of what I lost. But so I cast on, and so we went to the Cure, and the show was about 2.5 hours away. It's Ridgetop, whatever, which is on the border of Oregon and Washington. It's right next to Portland. Like, it's a suburb of Portland, I believe. Suburb of Vancouver and Portland. And so we had to drive down there. And hubby drove there, I drove back. So I did the entire way down, and this is how far I got. I've separated the sleeves. And I'll show you the back, because you can totally see this gorgeousness. You see why I wanted to reknit it? See why it had to be knit? See? It's beautiful. So, that's about how far I've gotten. It is a super easy knit so far. It's been really super easy. Super easy, can I say? I'm using Hiya US 6 4mm needles. They are not sharps. Sorry, Don. They're Hiya though. They're not sharps. I do want to try the woods though. So you do your provisional cast on, which I did, and then you basically do a raglan body, from what I can tell. I'm just excited to be... Now, the pattern calls for 4.5, but I'm using a different yarn, and I know that I get the gauge on this needle, so that's why I did it. Like, how can you... She's so tiny, but I love her, and she does... Okay, Okay, hold on. I gotta read this and see if it's still there. Yes, create your own ebook. If you take 5 modish knit patterns at the same time, you automatically receive one for free, which is what I did. I bought several of hers because she goes up to a nice high chest circumference, which is something I find hard to do. I've ranted about it before on the podcast, and she goes up to like the 50s. 54.5 inches is her largest size, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's not, some people go up into the 60s, but 54.5, that's really nice, and she does size them bigger. And so I want to support her way more than I want to support some other designers who don't go up to the big sizes. So I do recommend buying her patterns. They're all very pretty. Like I said, if you buy, it's a promotion she's got running. It's all in euros, which isn't that much in American dollars anyway. So yeah, I bought a bunch of hers. You'll see me knit a bunch of hers because she does go up to the bigger bust sizes, and I want to support anyone who does that. I love it. I love it so. I am enjoying knitting it. And that's probably why the Thicket socks were a little late, because I could have worked on the socks the entire road trip down. And did I? No. Why? Because I wanted to knit on this, and I do what I want. I don't know if that makes me a bad person or not. But that is me. That is me in a nutshell. In my Fat Squirrel Fiber birdie bag. I love my birdie bag. I have the Exploration Station, which you've all seen before, and I'm still learning to love the colors. I had posted about it, and Dolled Up DNA, Lindsay, had said she didn't like her colors either, but she just kept going, and then it worked. And several other people have been like, oh, it'll work out in the end. So I'm just going to keep going, because I do believe it will work in the end. I am on the last wedge before I hit the brioche, and it actually looks really pretty when you hold it back here. Maybe I just need to see it in a different light, and this is a different light. I am using leftovers from a bunch of different things. I've got Cozy Makes, Snapdragon, that's the orange. I've got Volmice, not sure if that's pure or twin. And I've got Sheep Dreamery in the Allure base, which is an MCN. And I've got the good old standard Knit Picks Essential in Pine. So, last wedge before the brioche section. Looking forward to the brioche because, hey, I like brioche. Petrie is really giving her because she wants in, and I'm not going to let her in. We've had an issue with Petrie lately, and yeah, so I think I finished this wedge, and I've started this wedge since you've seen it last. It's something I pull out when I'm just wanting to be very boring. P. Peep. P. Petrie. Okay. Sometimes you just have to talk to them and they stop meowing. Sometimes they just want you to know they're there. Or at least that's what my cats are like. Maybe not yours. Alrighty. The last thing I have kind of segues into what I want to talk about next. It's in my Crafty Knitter 7 bag, which is the Tangled Skein, One Tangled Skein, A Tangled Skein CA on Etsy. I love my bag, it's very fun. And I have, because I finished a pair of socks, right? Which means one out, you gotta start a new one. And apparently get everything completely messed up on your needle. Did I do that right? Or did I just... I'm tangling crap. Sadie, what are you doing? You're getting all messed up. Okay, really? Really? I'm sure you're loving watching me trying to untangle this ball. I really should have caked it, but I suck at that. Apparently. Apparently I also suck at untangling the ball. Whatever. So, one in, one out. I finished a pair, I believe that's pair 13, 12 or 13. And so I had to start a new pair, and this is pair 14. I've got one full repeat knit up here. And this is my stuff. This is Knitter's Nightmare in the Boogeyman sock base. This yarn, this particular 6-stripe repeat is called A Yarn of Great Social and Political Import, which is very long, and maybe you'll catch it, but I've dyed up 3 stripey colorways. They're going in the shop tomorrow at 5, Thursday, June 2nd, 5 p.m. Pacific. And they're all inspired by the 60s. So, started this, and that is the last work in progress I have. So I'm going to segue right on into what's in the shop, what's getting updated, blah, 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 blah. Right? So there are some things that are already in the shop. We have Enchanté is back. It is in the Boogeyman. Pew. Wow, these are blasted out. And it is in a sparkly sock base. The green is a lot brighter in real life, but there's nothing I can do about that. We have Electric Funeral back in stock. She's a popular one. She's on Boogeyman and Sparkle as well. So if you're going to be doing the Dresden pattern series by Awilda, the first one is Molly, a one-woman rave, and it calls for Electric Funeral, so you can buy it now and stock up. And the other 2 that are in the shop in both Boogeyman and the Sparkle base, which is Spectre, are Gilmore Girls colorways. So we have Razquat, which I've actually made a hat out of. Oh, it's right behind me. I dyed this up on some worsted, I believe this is, but I have a hat out of it. It's a Tin Can Knits hat. I just whipped that up a while ago. So this is Razquat, which is a reference to a hybrid that Suki and Jackson made, and then Suki figured out what it was. And then I'm Smad, which is pretty. So those are already in the shop. I put those up, I forget when I put those up. It's way too warm for a hat right now. It's like, I want to say 25 degrees. Petrie, stop. She is not happy with me. 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit right now. I know I'm a bad American. And then tomorrow at 5, so Thursday, June 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific, these guys will be landing in the shop. They're all 6-stripe repeats. They're all based on the 60s. So this one is the one I'm knitting. It's called A Yarn of Great Social and Political Import, which is a very long name, but it is inspired by the cover of Janis Joplin's album Pearl. And if you were raised on Janis Joplin, as I have been, then you know that that is the intro to the song Mercedes-Benz. Right before she starts singing and before the clapping starts, it's, I'm going to do a song of great social and political import. And it's one of my mom's favorite songs. It's one of the ones I've heard so much. So this is A Yarn of Great Social and Political Import. It is 6 stripes. You saw the 6 stripes. There's turquoise and fuchsia and violet and green, and then this mahogany color that I really like. Then we have this guy, and these are all going to be available on the Sparkle base. Some are on Boogeyman as well, and some are on Batty as well. So there you have it. Some are on Boogie, some are on Batty, all are on Sparkle. This one is also a 6-stripe. It is called On the Bus. It was themed after a poster from the Festival Express. So you have yellow, light green, dark green, light blue, dark blue, and purple in that order. It's pretty rad. These are new to the shop, but they're not actually new to me because I dyed them up before, but they didn't make it past my knitting group in Minnesota. So the members of my knitting group who didn't manage to snag the colors they wanted are probably going to be going crazy for these. And this one is I Am Experienced, which is of course from the cover of Jimi Hendrix's Are You Experienced? Yes, yes I am. So this one has, we have a gorgeous pink, a green, a blue, a purple, a yellow, and what color am I forgetting here? Oh yeah, that really winey color, which looks black here, but it's actually very more like a wine. Really, P? She's on about something. She was sleeping when I started. Okay, I'm back. She has been sated. She needed fresh cold water because her water was neither fresh nor cold, and that is very distraught making in Petrieville. Now, before everything falls off, because apparently precariously placing things is my shtick, right? Hold on. I purchased some things for my birthday, and some of them have started arriving. And these are some of them. We went out to the Memorial Day sale at Joann's, and I bought some fabric to do these, so I'm super excited to start getting into them. I picked up the 100 Acts of Sewing dress number 3, extra large to 4 extra large. And I picked up the 100 Acts of Sewing dress number 1, extra large, extra small to 4X. I am looking forward to doing those. I picked up some ridiculous cottons to do them in because that's who I am, and I figured they'd be great for SSK because dresses with leggings are always a good thing. And I have some cut off capris and Bermuda shorts and stuff that I put on under the dresses so I don't get the chub rub, and I end up rocking dresses because they're easy on me to rock, and cotton is a great breathable fabric, and that's just the way it's gonna go. So I picked those up. I picked up some fabric for them. I don't think I ordered anything yarn related. I got some yarn from my mother-in-law, and that is probably not going to be knit up anytime soon because I have an idea in my head of what it should be. And most of the stuff I got some sewing patterns, and then I got some stitching related stuff. I ordered more floss to dye, some more silk so I could dye more silks. And yeah, that's basically what I did with my birthday money. That, and I bought a bunch of Cure paraphernalia. I got the buttons, I got the postcards, I got a shirt, I got my husband a shirt, I got the program, and yeah. Now I'm all 33. I am the age of Smashing Pumpkin songs and Coheed and Cambria songs, and I could probably make a montage of songs that have that are called 33. But I won't. And lastly but not leastly, oh yes, before I forget, because I was really close to forgetting, did you see that there? We have closed the April Showers May Flowers Knit Along. There were a lot of lovely things. I will be giving away a skein of Giant, which is 100% superwash merino, 490 yards, in the progressive colorway Girls Just Want to Have. Which is a 4-color colorway. I locked up the thread last night when I remembered to, so now we gotta go randoming. I would also like to take this time to thank everyone who sent me patterns for my birthday. Thank you. Thank you to Dawn for the True Friend pattern. Thank you to JD for the stained glass socks, I believe. And thank you to Alicia, who sent me a Glenasee pattern, which is lovely. I really want to start knitting everything right now, but I can't. That would be bad. Okay, random.org. There are 45 entries. 45. And we generate. Phew, that's going to be blown out. There you go, 29. Who's 29? 29, you won. There we go. Artist Maybe. You won with socks. Some pretty socks won. So there you go. That is our winner. PM me your address. I will get that out to you in the mail, in yon mails. You get this lovely skein. It has been waiting for a home, a homeland, and I'm gonna let everybody go. I have a floss tube to now record, and I will see everybody next Friday. Until then, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sewing.